This lesson is about finding the area and circumference of a circle. So you might remember that the formula for finding the area of a circle is pi r squared. The formula for finding the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. Before we get to these examples, I want to show you something we teach kids who are practicing for the SAT. What we want you to know is that whether you have the circumference, the diameter, the radius, or the area, any one of those 4 things, you can find the other 3. And this is a little trick we show kids when you are doing circumference or area of a circle, or if you needed to find the diameter or radius and you have one of those. We write down C, D, R, A. C stands for circumference, D for diameter, R for radius, A for area. And the trick is that if you have the circumference, what you do to get the diameter is just get rid of pi. So if the circumference is 20 pi, the diameter is 20. The radius is always half the diameter, so to go from diameter to radius, we take half. And the area is always this squared and put the pi back. So 10 squared is 100, and you put the pi back. So to go from here to here, you get rid of the pi, you take half. To go there, you square it and put the pi back. So let's say you had 14 for diameter. Well, we know that half of it is the radius. If we square it and put the pi back, we get 49 pi, and to go this way, we just put the pi back. So if we have a radius, to get to area, we square it, put the pi back. To go from here to here, we double it, and to go back up to circumference, we have 6 pi. If we have the area, we would obviously square root it and get rid of the pi, so that would be a 4. The diameter, we double it, and to get circumference, we get 8 pi. So that's just a quick way. If you're ever stumped on that CDRA, you can remember that. Now let's do a few of these problems. So the first problem we're going to talk about is this one right here. We know that this is a right triangle. Whenever you see a right triangle, you need to think of Pythagorean Theorem, because that's what you're going to use. And this is a diameter. And so we know that the diameter, if we have the diameter, we can find circumference and area using our little CDRA. So first of all, we need to find that diameter. Well, Pythagorean Theorem says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So first, I'm going to write my little formula. The sides squared, the legs, if I add them together after I square them, equal the hypotenuse squared. Well, 5 squared is 25. 12 squared is 144. If I add that together, I get 169. I need to take the square root to find c, and the square root of 169 is 13. So that means my diameter is 13. They're asking for the circumference and the area, and when it says exact, that means with pi. So if I write down C, D, R, A, and I know my diameter is 13, then I know my circumference is going to be 13 pi. Half of 13 is 6.5, and the radius squared, I have to square the radius and put pi back on. So 6.5 squared times pi, and you could figure that out in your calculator what 6.5 squared is. But that's how you would do that one. This one, how are you going to find the circumference of this circle? There's a rectangle inscribed inside a circle. Well, always think about diameters, and because we have to have a diameter or a radius to come up with circumference and area. So here again we have a right triangle. If this is a rectangle, then we know that this is 3 and this is 4. So we have that same thing. We need to use the Pythagorean theorem to do this problem, to find our diameter. So 3 squared plus 4 squared is going to equal my diameter squared. 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. If I add those together, I get 25. So my diameter is 5. Okay, so C, D, R, A. My diameter is 5, so my circumference must be 5 pi. My radius is going to be 2.5, and my area is going to be 2.5 squared pi. And again, you could use your calculator to figure out what that is. The last one we see here is a square that has a circle on the inside, and it's telling us that this is 10. Well, if this is 10, then our diameter is 10. So we already know our diameter. So we're just going to say C, D, R, A. Our diameter is 10, which means our radius is 5, which means our area is 25 pi, and their circumference is 10 pi. So this is a way, the CDRA is a way to find these out without actually using the formula, but absolutely use the formula if you prefer that method.